Okay, so the video we're going to shoot right now is a recap of the star shading lab that we did in class today. This is also a good review of the star classification that we did yesterday, specifically for the Hertzsprung-Russell diagram. So if we look really quick right here, a couple things I want us to notice. One, a reminder this graph is different. Unlike most graphs that we're used to using, we're not doing steady intervals, right? The intervals are going to jump unevenly. Secondly, most graphs we've done in the past have a 0, 0 point here. Stars are different. In this case, the 0 is actually here, currently covered by the document cam, and then it comes over with the idea that cooler stars are on the right and they move left. So if we look at the beginning portion, so up on the screen we can see I've replotted the points that we did yesterday as a class. We have one star, which is the double intersecting line. We have the sun, which is on one individual line, and we have Regal all the way at the top, which is actually in the middle of the box. We can see right here the three different ways in which you can plot the actual stars. So when we start shading, what we're doing is we're looking at table 7-2. This table is talking about star temperature and color. So I'm going to show you how to shade the entire portion as a review for those of you who might not finish or who are absent today. So when we're looking at star temperature, what we're talking about is going from how hot something is to how cool something is. So the coolest stars are going to be on the right, and they're going to transfer over to the hottest. So we're going to start off using our red stars. Our red stars, if we look at our table, have a temperature beginning at 2,000 degrees. You're going to notice nothing should be at 0. Stars are not at 0. If a star is at 0, it's not a star. It doesn't exist. So what you do is you make a mark on our paper, starting with red, because that's the coolest. It's also the color that it tells us to on the table. And you would simply draw a line all the way up to the top. And it's not going to be perfectly straight. That's okay. But our first one is between 2,000 to 4,000 degrees. And then you're gently going to shade in the entire way, all the way to the top. And the reason we want to do this is because then what you'll notice is that stars that fall under this red color are actually a red star. Our next color is orange. Orange is between 4,000 to 5,000. Once again, 5,000 is not actually specifically listed, so what we're going to do, we're going to make it up. We're going to go all the way to the top, and we're going to shade it in. So what you're going to see is that these colors will actually start to blend together, and what you'll start to see is that some stars, like the point we have right here, is actually an orange-red star. This means that this star is actually currently cooling down because it's shifting from being orange to red. Our next star color will be 5,000 to 6,000. That will be yellow. So right here, we can see this is roughly where 6,000 is. We make the line, once again, all the way up. And this is actually where our sun will start to be shaded in as well. I'm going to drag this line down a little bit, and I know yellow can be a little hard to see. The next one is pale yellow. Pale yellow goes from 6,000 to about 7,500. Now a lot of you are asking today in class, how can we do pale yellow? A good way to do pale yellow would be to very lightly go all the way to the top and then shade just like this side to side. You'll notice that it's not quite as dark as the yellow that's next to it. Now once again, these are going to start to sort of blend into each other. The next color we have is white. Now, obviously white you don't need to shade. You can leave that blank. So white would simply go from about 7,500 to 1,100. So I would make a little mark at about 1,100 here, because 1,100 to 2,200 is pale blue, with our pale blue coming right about here. So what I would do, this is my blue star, roughly from 1,100 to 2,200. I would shade this entire portion in, leaving the white star just blank because there's no need to shade. And what you're going to see is this is the spectrum of star class. So we're starting off with coolest, getting a little bit hotter, all the way up to the hottest, which is blue. And then all of your data points should land in between here, showing you the temperature of the star, which will be used to answer the questions at the end. This wraps up our explanation of how to both plot data points with star classification and how to shade it. If you have questions, tweet me at Mr. BG Science. Thanks and have a good night.